So to get into this topic, we need some sort of definition, some way of seeing what it feels like and looks like to be living a life worth living. So I want to tell you about when I was a little kid. We had this little black and white TV set at home, and as far back as I can remember, once a year we watched The Wizard of Oz. We watched it every year, like, every single year we'd watch it on this little black and white TV set. And so when I grew older, when I was 19 years old, I was out in San Francisco. I heard that they were showing The Wizard of Oz at a theater, and I'd never seen it on the big screen. I'd only seen it on a little black and white set, so I invited some friends, and we went to see The Wizard of Oz in a movie theater. And we're sitting there, and the movie opens up, and it's in black and white, just the way I remember it. And all of a sudden, the doors open at Oz, and it's in color. And I had no idea all those years that it was in color. And so I break out laughing. I mean, I'm just astounded because all these years I had no clue of the brilliant colors that was Oz. And then it gets to the part of the story where they're at the palace, and the henchman that says, "That's a horse of a different color." And in every scene, the horse is a different color. I had no idea. All these years, I had just seen this thing in black and white and had no clue that any of this was going on. It was this huge revelation for me to see it so beautifully. And that's what a life worth living feels like. It is the difference between black and white and bursting technicolor. I have a personal relationship with the idea, the profoundness of a life worth living, because when I was 14 years old, I attempted suicide. And then again as a young adult. And through much of my early life, thought about suicide fairly often. And so developing a life worth living instead of wanting to kill myself became tremendously important. And so I've worked with this concept a tremendous amount and have not had a single thought of suicide for 15 years. But it took coming to terms with what really was a life worth living. And so I came up with certain principles I'd like to share with you around that. The first one is take inspiring action. It doesn't matter whether you're cleaning the toilet, whether you're an accountant, whether you're a singer on a great adventure. It doesn't even matter if the action you take inspires anyone else. The key here is that it inspires you, that you feel inspired by your own action. It doesn't even matter what the result of that action is. What matters is that you are inspired by what you are actually doing. That's what makes a life worth living. Do what you love and do not tie it to money. When doing what you love may be 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, but make sure it's every day. Make sure you spend time every day doing what you love. It will feed you and make your life worth living. Do not tie it to money. Do not even tie it to whether you're good at it. What matters is how you're spending your time. Because if you spend your time doing what you love, you are spending your time in inspiring action. And you are living a life worth living. Take risks. You have less to lose than you think. Sitting in your comfort zone, in peace and quiet, is not as fulfilling, is not as technicolor as life can be. When you take risks, it brings out your best. It forces you to be more present. It forces you to be more alive. You feel more alive when you take those risks. That sense of presence, of things popping before you, of your nerve endings on end, that is a life worth living. Let your divine self be your guide. When we open to that larger self that is still ourselves, it will guide us to the risks that are ours to take. It will guide us to do what we love to do in a way that is ours to do. And then our actions will, of course, be inspiring to us. Open to your divine self, and your life will be led in the most beautiful of fashions. Expect miracles. Don't just hope for them or wish for them. Expect them. Because when we open to our divine selves, when we live in that place of being, Kaz spoke to it when she said, immediate healings. Expect miracles. They happen all the time. And when we live a life worth living, they will, of course, appear for us as well. So, what gets in our way of living a life worth living? Having things be black and white instead of technicolor. Well, for me, when I'm triggered, when I'm upset, when I'm caught in my smaller self, it feels like I'm actually inside a bubble of gel. And the outside world is unreachable to me. For others, it may feel like being in prison. Some make it feel like it's down a tunnel. For others, it's being in a well. For some, it feels like you're possessed by somebody else. Either way, you feel trapped. I feel trapped in this place of not being able to reach out into the world of Technicolor. I feel guarded, small, and unsafe. What we have to do in those times is find a way. My way won't be your way. Each of us has to find our own way. The point is it's worth finding. I've talked about this before. I boxed for a while, and when I was in the ring with the trainer, he would bob and weave and just say to me, hit him. And he wasn't even swinging at me, but he was bobbing and weaving so much, and I'd be swinging and I'd be missing him all over the place, and all he'd say over and over and over is find a way, find a way, find a way. This went on for weeks without me landing a single punch until finally I hit him. And then I hit him again and again, and I finally started landing. I had found a way because I kept at it, and that is the key. The one thing I will offer you, the greatest tool that any of us could have in our spiritual development is persistence. Do not give up when you need it most. Find a way. So last Saturday, Ashley had taken a day off of work to take me down to San Diego to show me her favorite place down there. And I woke up already feeling a little triggered. And I did my morning routines, to pull myself out of it. But when I got in the car, I really wasn't fully present. And Ashley had put together this great day that meant a lot to her, took me to this place, and I said something about it that just triggered her to no end. And before I knew it, the two of us were now in total black and white, totally caught up. And I felt completely lost in my gel, in my bubble of gel. And then because Ashley was triggered, she said something that triggered me even deeper, and I stood up and I yelled out, "Let's just go home." And we start walking the pavement back to our car. And as we're doing it, I'm stuck in this gel. And all the time I'm going, I can't let this go down this way. Our relationship is better than this. It's more beautiful than this. I'm stuck in the black and white. This can't go on this way. I've got to break free. And I'm doing my affirmations, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And all of a sudden, boom! It was like my hands broke through, and then my head broke through, and I could feel myself coming out of it. And I ran in front of Ashley, and I stopped her, and I said, "We can't go on like this. What we have here is too beautiful to be like this." And Ashley stood her ground and said, and stopped, and stood with me. And between the two of us, we started talking just a little, and I could still feel the residue of that jelly place. But I could also feel it starting to drip away as I stood stronger and stronger in that place of what I knew to be our divine self. And we picked a spot under a tree to sit down, and we reconnected deeply. Now, I do not have a thick skin. I have read the 4 Agreements twice, and I still take stuff personal. In fact, I'm so sensitive, I take everything personal. And it throws me into this gel. And I have to find my way back out every time. But it's risky, because I'm already feeling hurt. But I take that risk because I actually love being in relationship. One of the things I love to do is be in intimate relationship. Now, when I started in intimate relationships, I wasn't very good at it. In fact, that's why I've been divorced 3 times. But I love intimate relationships, so I keep at it. And I've gotten better and better at it, as Ashley will attest to. And so we sat down, and risking my heart the way I did, knowing she could have easily rejected me, and it could have thrown me even into a worse spiral. What instead happened was we had a Technicolor day. We had a wonderful, deep connection and a beautiful day down in San Diego. But it took finding a way. It took being persistent. It took risking my heart and taking inspiring action and expecting the miracle of it working out. You know, the things that we love to do, you don't have to have any talent at it at all. You just have to love to do it. When I started playing music, I practiced for a year and went out and played my first gig and was literally booed off the stage. I practiced for 6 more months and went out and played another gig, and an agent was in the audience and came backstage and said to me, "You know, you really have no talent at this, but you're cute, so why don't you try acting?" 7 years later, I read in a New York newspaper a review of one of my shows, and the review started out saying, "What a natural Cliff must be to have put on the show he did last night." I went from 7 years having no talent at all to being a natural. I promise you, if you do what you love to do, even if you have no talent at all, you will get better at it. You will get good at it. And it will reap rewards totally worth the journey. It will reap rewards of a life worth living. When we take inspiring action, when we do what we love to do, and not tie it to any result at all, but just spending our time doing what we love doing, when we take risks, putting our heart on the line, when we let our divine self be our guide, and when we expect miracles, our life explodes from being black and white into magnificent technicolor. And it is at that point that we're living a life worth living. All right. Let's end this with a meditation. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and relax. Imagine yourself on a path. It is the perfect path. It is your path. How it feels beneath your feet. The wind against your skin. The light, the sights, the sounds. It may be in the woods. It may be up in the clouds. It may be in your home. Wherever it is the perfect path. It is your path. Imagine you come to a clearing. It is the perfect clearing. The sights, the sounds, the air against your skin, the light, everything, the temperature feels exactly perfect. This is your sanctuary, and it is exactly the way you have always dreamed it to be. There is a chair there. It is the perfect chair. Go and sit in it and feel the ah of sitting in your sanctuary. Take another breath and relax even deeper. Feel yourself in the presence of your divine self, that greater you, your higher guide. Feel the wisdom pouring in into the very essence of who you are. And as this divine self, now imagine yourself walking into your day. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. Whatever works for you, take your bigger self and literally walk into your day. See the day different. See the technicolor of it. See the brilliance. Imagine yourself taking risks. Imagine yourself doing whatever tasks you normally do or have done through these eyes, with this perception. Imagine yourself taking actions in the circumstances that are the normal circumstances of your life, that are inspiring. Imagine yourself taking inspiring action in the normal circumstances of your life. Feel the difference. Take another breath and sink in even deeper to your divine self. Imagine your life filled with miracles. Wonder, being awestruck. Imagine yourself doing what you love. Imagine yourself as the powerful, creative, spiritual being you are, and your life magnificent. Thank yourself for this deepening. Thank yourself for the technicolor view of your life worth living. And when you're ready, open your arms.